Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. As promised, another video here on the channel here today. Earlier today, we broke down Adam Schefter's report of the Bears leaning toward trading down. We got some more Bears draft rumors to get into, so let's go ahead and dive in here. Could the Houston Texans be the team that is most likely to trade up? Multiple NFL reports, analysts, and rumors that are circulating suggest that Houston is very interested in moving up. Here's Lance Zierlein of NFL.com. He says, I wish I had a ticket in Las Vegas for the Texans to trade up to number 1 because that prediction is coming true. The Texans are not going to get beat for Bryce Young. So Zierlein is very confident that Houston is a team that will move up and go get Bryce Young. The Bears blog, who seems to be tapped in, especially during the offseason, said that he talked to folks connected to the league and asked who they think will be making the first pick. He said none of them had specific knowledge, but all of them predicted it'll be Houston. Ryan Poles needs to be patient. This could be fun. Definitely could be fun. It's already been fun. It's just more evident to why getting the number 1 pick was so big, because had Houston gotten it, well, they're just chilling, they're sitting back, they're not trading down, so they'd just be hanging out. Sure, the Bears, like I've said, would still have gotten trade offers at number 2, but now even Houston has to think about moving up to get the guy that they want. And I'll add this as well. You've got a quarterback draft class that is gaining some steam with Anthony Richardson getting a lot of buzz. He's going to work out at the Combine. Stroud, Levis, and Richardson will all throw this week. Bryce Young's going to wait until his pro day. But with 4 quarterbacks that could go in the top 5 or 10, that only helps the Chicago Bears out even more, sitting at number 1, as teams could come calling. Now, you look at quarterback-needy teams here. Obviously, you got the Houston Texans with the 2nd and 12th pick. Indianapolis Colts sitting at number 4. Las Vegas at number 7. The Falcons at 8. Carolina, we'll talk about them a little bit later on in the show. Tennessee at 11. Jets at 13. Commanders at 16. They just cut Carson Wentz. Tampa Bay at 19. And I kind of listed some maybes in Detroit, Seattle, the Giants, and then the Ravens. What if they move on from Lamar Jackson? They'll, of course, need a quarterback at that point. Here's the bottom line. When it comes to all these trade speculation, rumors, ideas, thoughts of who could trade up, who the Bears trade down with, well, here's the bottom line. If you are a team that loves a quarterback in this draft, you're like, I want this guy, and I like him way better than the other draft quarterbacks, I want to get him. Well, the only way, including the Houston Texans, who are only 1 pick behind the Bears, the only way you get the guy you want for sure is to trade up with Chicago, who has the number 1 pick. If you're Houston and you love Bryce Young way more than the other prospects, you can't afford to sit at number 2 and pray and hope, because that's what you'll be doing, because the Colts could come calling, the Panthers could come calling. All these different teams who need a quarterback could come calling the Bears and leapfrog you to get their guy. Bears are in a great position. Teams are going to have to overpay to get that top pick, even Houston sitting with the number 2 selection. Now, who's the more likely team to trade up with Chicago? I think these two still remain the highest possibilities. Type 2, if you think it's the Houston Texans. Type 4, if you think it's the Colts. Obviously, Texans 2nd pick, Colts 4th pick. Let me know in the comment section. You're about to get hit with the pinned or with the YouTube ad break, so go reply to the pinned comment. Who's most likely to trade up with Chicago? Type 2 for the Texans or 4 for the Colts. And with likely trading at the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, that suggests the Bears are expected to keep Justin Fields. Report from Jeremy Fowler that Chicago is expected to keep Fields in 2023 and trade that number 1 pick. Here's what Jeremy Fowler had to say, quote, most teams I've talked to do expect the Bears to keep Justin Fields. The expectation is that they would move out of that number 1 pick. Let's not forget either that Ryan Poles said back in January after the season, after they knew they had gotten the number 1 pick, that he'd have to be blown away to draft a quarterback. Now, the NFL Combine's this week. There's a story out there that the Bears are going to meet with quarterbacks. We'll also discuss that in further detail later on. But remember, I mean, blown away, in other words, it's a long shot at best for the Bears to draft a quarterback. And with all these reports suggesting they're going to trade down, and with you needing so many needs at other positions, trading down still remains the high possibility. And it's just too soon to trade Justin Fields. What will the Bears do with Justin Fields? What do you guys think? Type T for trade or K for keep. Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, today's show is sponsored by Cultivate, the free browser extension that's going to help you find the best prices when you are shopping on Amazon. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. That's the key right there. With over 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keeps money in the United States economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs, such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up on the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards for using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make on your purchase. So, what are you waiting for? Go to wecultivate.us/chatsports. That's wecultivate.us/chatsports and download Cultivate for free. Let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping experience and your overall shopping journey and start saving money. Check the comments, check the description, wecultivate.us/chatsports and save some money today. Let's get back to Justin Fields. Fields is here to say, I've made this clear. I've made my point out there, and I've said, look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I would be shocked if Fields gets moved. You just don't trade this after 2 seasons. You just don't. He improved his passer and his accuracy. He throws a good deep ball. He can make all the throws. Yes, I've acknowledged a million times, and I'll continue to do so. You can't throw for 2,200 yards in today's NFL and win a Super Bowl. We all know that. But let's just see what happens here in year 3. Get some better pieces around him. Guy had 25 touchdowns with Equanimous St. Brown leading this team in snaps at receiver. 25 total touchdowns. Guy second in NFL history in rushing yards in a single season for a quarterback. The upside is way too high to trade this guy this early. You just don't do it. You do not trade Justin Fields this early in his career. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you have way too many needs on this roster. Build around him. Get more pieces. Get this roster in better shape, and let's go play some football. Subscribe to Bears Now if you want more updates all offseason long. We're less than 500 subs away from 61,000 subs. Can we get there? I hope so. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. We'll be live tomorrow. Potentially earlier. In fact, I think we are going to go live earlier with the Eberflus and Ryan Poles presser set to take place in Indianapolis at 11 o'clock Central Time. So turn on your noties. That way you know when we go live, and we'll have some content around that as well. So hit that sub button. Let's get back to some more draft rumors as Daniel Jeremiah proposed a potential Bears-Panthers trade down where Chicago would trade the number 1 pick down to the number 9 pick. That's obviously a steeper fall, so would have to be a pretty big offer. And to Jeremiah's credit, this is actually a pretty decent offer. The NFL Network analyst proposed Carolina sends the Bears 3 first-round picks, number 9 overall this year, 24 and 25 first-round picks, plus a second this year for the number 1 overall pick. That's a pretty good offer. You're still saying in the top 10. I would probably want a player from Carolina like DJ Moore or Brian Burns, but this is pretty solid if we're being completely honest. Here are my thoughts. This kind of feels like the just in case Justin Fields isn't the guy, so let's get extra ammunition trade idea for the future. But it is a strong offer. If Fields doesn't work out, you've got 2 firsts in 24 and in 25. If you want a quarterback next year, you got a lot of ammunition to go get Caleb Williams or Drake May. I don't know if you should operate that way, like, hey, let's protect ourselves for beyond this year. Don't get me wrong. If I trade down, I want at least 1 future first to have more bullets in the chamber for next year for whether Fields is the guy or not, just to continue to build this football team. But I do think if you're trading like beyond the 4th or 5th pick and you're out of Will Anderson, Jalen Carter range, I probably want a player in that trade. Like I want Brian Burns or I want DJ Moore. I want someone who can also help, a young player that can help this team instantly as well. So it's a tricky one. It's a good offer in terms of draft pick compensation. It really is. But, you know, I'd almost rather ditch the 25 first and get Brian Burns, if that's possible, if that makes sense. So, interesting idea. I think the further you trade down, you got to get a player in that deal, I think. but it'll depend on what Ryan Poles values. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. All right, we'll wrap this up with this note here as the Bears are reportedly set to meet with the top quarterback prospects at the NFL Combine. Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports reporting this, and we'll revisit this graphic here as I assume that means these four guys are a combination of some of these guys: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. Seems pretty clear that these four guys will all go in round one, and all four could go in the top 10. So, listen, the Bears are going to do their due diligence, even if it's a complete smokescreen. Like, they have to continue to make teams think they're at least willing to draft a quarterback. But smokescreen or not, they'd be stupid to not meet with these guys. That's what the Combine is for. You evaluate, you interview them, you learn about these guys, and hey, if nothing else, if you're facing these guys in the future, you learned a little bit more about them, right? So, yeah, it's smart to do this. It would be dumb to not interview and meet with these four quarterbacks. So I expect the Bears to do that, but I also expect that the Bears are very unlikely to draft a quarterback and are much more likely to trade down and get more picks to build the rest of this roster to a level that it needs to get to. All right, who do you guys think is the best quarterback in the draft? Obviously, I don't think the Bears will draft one, but it's an interesting group. All have pros and cons. Bryce Young, I think he's the most talented, but and the most proven, but he's undersized. C.J. Stroud looks the part. Played great against Georgia. In other big games, he kind of shriveled. Hard to say. Wasn't as willing of a runner throughout his college career. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, kind of these big body, strong arm, mobile types, but very inconsistent. So if you think it's Bryce Young, type BY. If you think it's C.J. Stroud, type CJ. If you think it's Will Levis, type WL. And if you think it's Anthony Richardson, type AR. There you go. It's going to do it for today's episode of Bears Now by Chat Sports. Early live show tomorrow. Don't miss it. YouTube.com/Bears Now. We will hit you guys with the latest Chicago Bears news and rumors with some reaction to Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus's words at the NFL Combine. So we'll have you covered for that. I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you next time here at Bears Now.